In the Riviera by the coast so green, a scent lingers fresh and serene. A Mediterranean flower, vibrant and bright. A fragrance that lingers from day to night. So yeah, I'm talking about Riviera Verbena from the house of Parfums De Nicolai. You might have guessed that already because it's in the title. But I got the chance to review this fragrance because I hadn't reviewed it yet. It launched last year and I really wanted to take the chance at reviewing it when I got the offer. I jumped at it. Because I'm a fan of Parfums De Nicolai. I feel like they're not that hyped, and I think they deserve the hype because Patricia De Nicolai creates some really great fragrances. And I think Verbena is kind of being, I guess it's a bit trendy lately or recently, and it's not a note that comes up too frequently, and even though it's an aromatic note and acts very herbal, there's definitely kind of citrusy, lemony touches there. So I'm excited to review Riviera Verbena for you today, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Fragrance by Easter egg hunt. There's 21 eggs that have been planted across the website in product photos. 21 letters are next to the eggs. Put the letters together, decipher the code, enter the code in the giveaway contest, and earn 50 entries to the Fragrance by annual giveaway. And you can win up to $500 plus a fragrance. So there's 21 riddles that have been prepared to help you. So I think it's a great chance to do this. It's still going on now, even though Easter's come and gone. Although I think today is actually, if you're Orthodox, which I am, but I don't celebrate Easter today, this is still Easter, so it's a good thing. So let me tell you about Riviera Verbena because I think it's definitely a great fragrance for you to smell, and also if you haven't discovered the house of Parfums De Nicolai, it's a great way for you to discover with some of their freshies that are Eau De Toilettes, because after I review Riviera Verbena for you, I'm going to tell you about a couple more fresh fragrances from this house, and I think these fragrances are going to be perfect to wear in the summertime because summer is just around the corner. It's been really cold here in the Bay Area, even though I was gone for a month. Came back to still pretty cold for this time of the year, so I'm kind of looking forward to some warmth, and I think Riviera Verbena is going to be perfect for it. So Riviera Verbena is a 2022 launch. It's created by perfumer Patricia De Nicolai. If you guys don't know this house or Patricia De Nicolai, she's related to the Guerlain family, but she's gone on her own and created a brand and has some really excellent fragrances that she's launched under her brand. So if you want to discover more about this brand, just search Parfums De Nicolai on my channel, and you can discover reviews and videos about the brand, and also I have a video with Patricia De Nicolai as well you can discover. So this collection of fragrances in the bottles, actually the bottles are very similar, but there's an Eau De Toilette collection, which this is, and then there's an Eau De Parfum collection as well. This particular fragrance falls into the Eau De Toilette collection. Riviera Verbena is a citrus aromatic, very much so. There's definitely lots of herbal touches here and aromatic touches, but definitely the prominence of citruses. So this suggested retail is around $180, but at Fragrance Buy, it's around $135. I've got links in the info box you can check out. And when I was doing my research for this fragrance, I noticed that on the Nicolai website that it uses almost 90% all natural ingredients. So that is a great thing for those of you that like natural versus synthetic fragrances, because I do agree that natural is great, but I think most of the time natural fragrances or fragrances do need some synthetics to give it some intensity and strength so they can last longer. So in Riviera Verbena, we've got verbena as a note along with Petitgrain, lemon, mint, cut grass, white musk, thyme, black currant, vetiver, jasmine, Calone, patchouli, and rose. So Calone is mentioned in this fragrance, but thankfully it's not about Calone. I can handle Calone with tiny dabs of it in a fragrance, but if it's an overdose of Calone, I cannot tolerate it. But for me, I actually really love the fragrances of Nicolai, as I was saying, and I actually stopped into their store while I was in Paris during my travels, and then of course I also saw the brand over at Essence and saw their really great looking 200 ml bottles, and I was like, wow, these bottles, very similar to this bottle, but also just much larger. So if you're into the idea of bigger bottles, definitely check those out. But what's Riviera Verbena all about? Again, it's an herbal note, has a very lemony touch to it, and I've actually picked the stuff myself because my dad used to plant herbs and things like that, and actually rubbed the actual herb in my hands, and definitely you've got that kind of herbal touch to it, but there's that kind of lemoniness there as well, which is kind of a very thing, because I absolutely love lemons, and lemons are really, really great. And here we've got not only an overdose of citruses and lemons, but you also have the verbena, which is the star note, and it's a great inspiration for the Riviera Verbena. I feel like Riviera has become a very trendy theme in fragrances, and I think this kind of rhymes as well, Riviera Verbena, so it's definitely a great creation. But for me, it's definitely very, very fresh, invigorating, and herbal, sometimes a bit metallic as well, but not too sharp where it's not tolerable. For me, I feel like citruses and herbal notes do create a kind of a screechy sharpness when they're combined together. Not all the time, sometimes, but definitely it's noticeable here. But you know what I like about this one? There's definitely greenness here for sure. We've got that kind of overdose of Petitgrain mixed in with the verbena. Petitgrain is the leaves of the bitter orange tree. Really love this note because there's definitely earthiness there, some woodiness, but kind of bitter, citrusy touches. Really beautiful blend with the verbena. And then of course, as I said, there's lemon here as well. Lots of it. So it's a very juicy, sparkly fragrance. If you like the idea of fresh citruses with lots of herbs, swimming in herbs and lemon citruses, this is definitely the kind of fragrance you should definitely check out. And you know, I do enjoy verbena because it's kind of a unique take on citruses. Of course, as I said, it's very herbal and aromatic. This is a citrus aromatic fragrance, but it's got the herbal touches and the citruses together, which is kind of fine. And when you combine the verbena with the lemoniness and the other citruses, it kind of accentuates the citruses, and you've got the kind of this beautiful blend of citruses and the kind of herbal aromatics combined together. There's some spice in here as well, and as I was saying, that Calone is very, very minuscule, if at all. It does create a bit of an ozonic kind of watery touch to the fragrance, which adds more freshness when you're wearing it. So it's a very fresh fragrance. I personally would leave this for warmer days. I think this is the kind of fragrance that's perfect for hot, humid weather. But here in California, we have dry heat, so it's also perfect for that. But I feel like with humid heat, I feel like this fragrance is going to be even better, because I feel like when it's dry, fragrances don't last as long as when it's humid and moist and, you know, kind of damp and things like that. So if you guys are in the kind of humid parts of the world, I think this is a perfect fragrance for you. But I really, really love the way it smells, and I'm glad I'm getting to review it for you guys here. And again, love citruses, but I like the idea of verbena in fragrances. And after reviewing Riviera Verbena here for you guys, I'm definitely going to check into a few other verbena fragrances. So let me know your thoughts on Riviera Verbena. Have you checked out this particular fragrance? Do you know any other verbena focused fragrances? And what are your thoughts on this house, Parfums De Nicolai and Patricia De Nicolai created fragrances? She's a perfumer for all the fragrances. And again, as I was saying, she used to be, well, she's part of the Guerlain family, and she went on her own to start her own brand. So if you like Guerlain and you don't know about Nicolai fragrances, definitely got to check them out, because there's definitely a bit of a classic edge to all the fragrances of the Parfums De Nicolai house. I've got two more fragrances, and the first one I'm going to talk to you about is Cap Neroli, and this is really, really wonderful Neroli fragrance. Once again, it's in the Eau De Toilette collection, so perfect for hot summer days. And this is focusing on Neroli with orange blossom. There's Petitgrain, Rosemary, Mint, Jasmine, and Musk. And what I like about this Neroli, there's definitely a classic edge to it, much more than the Riviera Verbena. This one smells like a Neroli fragrance from the 80s and maybe perhaps the 70s, because there's definitely a bit of a chypre quality to the fragrance, which I quite like. But it's an overdose of Neroli with orange blossom, and of course Petitgrain as well. These three notes from the orange tree work beautifully together. You've got Neroli, orange blossom. Of course, it's the same flower, different extraction processes and distillation processes, so you get a different name for the flower. And then of course you've thrown in the leaves, the bitter leaves, the earthiness, along with you know, some flowers in here, of course the musk, and see the mint and the rosemary, which I feel like when they've added it to the citrus notes, it kind of creates a bit of a classic edge. Really a wonderful fragrance. I have a friend who goes through bottles of this stuff, really loves it, and they don't really like classic fragrances for some reason, but they really seem to love this one. And also for a neroli fragrance, it does have some pretty good strength to the fragrance. There's a denseness about it. So this is the first, or the second one I should say. And then finally, Eau de Yuzu, even fresher, and Yuzu is kind of like a grapefruit note, and a very interesting take on a Yuzu fragrance here, and it features the notes of Yuzu with Guaiac. There's grapefruit, Petitgrain, Patchouli, grass note, and then Vetiver as well. So eventually it does get some woody grassiness in here, but for me, there's definitely a bit of a saltiness thrown in here with this fragrance. I don't know if it's something the Yuzu is creating, but it feels like it's a kind of yuzu at the coast, or along the coast. Not necessarily smelling the sea, but kind of experiencing the saltiness of the sea air, if that makes sense. But there's Petitgrain here once again, a beautiful note. Really love this note. Bitter, green, earthy, woody, citrus for sure, and it's captured here, but it's all about the yuzu with the grapefruit, I think. If you like the idea of yuzu, grapefruit, those kind of notes, definitely check this one out as well. Eau de Yuzu. And I feel like out of the three, the strongest would be Cap Neroli, but Verbena next. And I feel like the Eau de Yuzu is probably the lightest, so it's probably perfect for even hotter, warmer days. Anyway, those are my thoughts on these three fragrances. And of course, Riviera Verbena, really wonderful, very, very green, fresh, citrusy, lemony, aromatic, citrus aromatic fragrance. And again, don't forget to take part in this Easter egg hunt that's going on at FragranceBuy. I've got links in the info box, but do let me know your thoughts on not only Riviera Verbena, but also Cap Neroli and Eau de Yuzu. And in general, are you a fan of this house, or is this the first time you're hearing about Parfums De Nicolai? Put some comments down so I can find out. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.